Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Tanya Spears, aka Power Girl 2, aka the Forgotten Power Girl, aka Powerhouse. And the reason why I want to talk about Power Girl is because there's an article that was released. Jeremy Whiteley is the creator of Priceless and was the writer of The Unstoppable Wasp. But he made a comment about how he had this pitch for Tanya Spears, Power Girl, for DC comic books that never came to light. And it got me thinking why Tanya Spears, aka Power Girl 2, aka Powerhouse now, is a colossal failure. Because people have to remember during the New 52, there was a lot of changes that was going on. And they were taking away a lot of things, a lot of classical things that people known of all these years, and either rebooting them, retooling them, or just not plain existing. But Tanya Spears fall into that weird thing with the same thing with Wally West. If you guys remember, Wallace West, the black kid Flash, he was supposed to be the new Wally West, and he was literally made to replace Wally West because what DC thought is they thought they could race change Wally West, the original Wally West, and make him black and think that us, the fans, were going to be like, yeah, this is a good idea. Fans immediately rejected it. Everybody was like, Wally West isn't black. Why is he black? What are you doing? Why are you making this character black when Wally West isn't black? So DC, in all their infinite wisdom, was so gun-ho on trying to make fetch happen that they literally doubled down on it until it was to the point where they couldn't double down on it anymore because it was affecting the Flash. And then they really tried to double down on it by race bending Iris in the CW show and introducing Wally West as her brother instead of her nephew and making him black for reasons. But we're not even getting into that. But see, you see what I'm saying? Another reason why Tanya Spears fall into that problem is because it was literally a black replacement for a classical white character that's been around for years. Everybody knows that Karen Starr, aka Power Girl, is the Earth 2 Power Supergirl. So it's kind of funny that DC thought that they could replace a character that was created in the 1970s. The 1970s, you hear what I'm saying? You're trying to replace the 1970s Karen Starr, aka Power Girl, for Black Girl. Let's be honest, what she is. She's literally a black girl that was made just to pander, just to be like, oh, we have Power Girl, but wouldn't it be cool if Power Girl was de-aged and was black? And now she's very into technology and whatever. And I'm like, okay, but that's not the Power Girl that people love. You're trying to force this character to happen when people don't like, the forced diversity push. And then Jeremy was talking about how, he feels like we as the audience wouldn't have wanted to read a book about smart girls dealing with STEM. But the problem is, of course, we don't care about that kind of stuff because, Marvel did that with Unstoppable Wasp. It failed badly. And it's not for the target audience that you're looking for isn't in the comic books. You're looking for people outside of the comic book industry, and you're focusing on things that they would like. You're not focusing on things that comic book fans would like. So of course the character was going to fail, and of course the Power Girl book was never coming. And it really doesn't have much to do with race. You created a version of Power Girl, a black version of Power Girl that nobody asked for, first off. Second off, everybody was asking for Power Girl, the Karen Starr Earth 2 version that you guys tried to cover up, make it where she wasn't really wasn't in continuity at all or whatever and stuff like that. Like, this character's a fan favorite and she's like the most popular multiverse character in DC comic books that literally lost her world, but she lives on the main continuity. Everybody knows that she's from another alternate reality, but she made this world work for her. And yet, instead of capitalizing on that, or instead of just slowly reintroduce, you did slowly reintroduce that character, but then you did bullcrap with the character, and now she still hasn't really made her full appearance back yet, except for in Doomsday Clock. And then what, you think people were supposed to be happy about getting rid of the original Power Girl for Tanya Spears because you gave her some of Karen Starr's powers? I'm sorry, that's not gonna work. Just because she got little cute little pigtail puffballs, that doesn't mean that she's going to be well received as a character. And it ain't got nothing to do with her being smart or being people being intimidated. The fact of the matter is, Karen Starr Power Girl, Kara Zor-El, has been a fan favorite character. She's been the chairwoman of the Justice Society of America, been the leader of the Justice Society of America, had a major character development during Infinite Crisis. One of the few survivors of Earth 2 when DC comic books got rid of it during Crisis on Infinite Earth. You know, being an older version of Supergirl and stuff like that, having a multi-billion-dollar corporation that she built from the ground up when she got stuck in, the main continuity. And you mean to tell me you replaced that for Black Girl with puff balls? Because wouldn't that be cool if Power Girl was black instead of Kara Zor-El, since we already got Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, and everybody is confused apparently? You misjudge your audience. That you really do. You really got to stop assuming what the customers don't know and what the customers do know about your characters or the universe. You're always trying to think about new readers, but you ignore the old readers, the fans that have been there for years. Because if I know this, and I'm an average comic book reader, because let's be honest, I haven't read every comic book, but I've been reading comic books since I was little. You know what I'm saying? The same thing as with manga and anime. But my thing is, you guys are trying so hard to find this audience, this new audience that, no offense, doesn't really exist. And it's a fraction of what you have as your core audience. I'm not saying that Power Girl Tanya Spears couldn't work. I'm not saying that she couldn't have worked. But when you brought her in and you knew that you were trying to make her a replacement for Power Girl, and you already knew how much of a large fan base Power Girl has, you failed that character. That character failed because, once again, she was a race swap that was not needed. You didn't make her a character of her own. You should have made her a character that can stand on her own. She could have been tied to Power Girl. That's great. And if you really want to do a Power Girl solo series, you need to do one with Karen Starr, the original Power Girl, and have Tanya Spears as supporting character. And that's how you do that. Because Power Girl had, I believe, 3 solo runs before, and they're pretty actually interesting books. And what I'm saying is, you could have introduced that. Give Power Girl her classic look. Don't try to cover up the boob window. Don't try to cover up the legs or anything, because that's another failure. You try to cover up Power Girl when you did introduce her. And, within 3 issues of World's Finest Power Girl the Huntress, you had to get rid of that because it doesn't work. It does not work. You're trying to take away something that fans love. Like, how many girls I've seen dress up as Power Girl who loves Power Girl? They love the boob window. They love the fact that she's so confident in her body and how confident she is being sexy and being a superhero and being muscular too. She got body on her. So trying to cover that up and then try to replace her with a black woman wasn't going to work. It was always doomed to failure. That's what I'm saying. You failed, DC. You guys failed this character. And trying to make a book about her being a scientist and being very smart and intelligent, okay, that's fine and all, but Was she going to be doing superheroics, or was she going to be mostly talking to us about STEM stuff, science crap that we don't care? Because I picked up an Unstoppable Wasp book before, and it's snooze fest because it's not for me. I understand it's not for me, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to make a comic book about intelligent girls being superheroes, she got to be a superhero first, more so than anything else. And no offense, girls that are into STEM don't have time to sit there and read no comic books. They're not thinking about it. They're thinking about how to improve the world through science and technology. So why would they be sitting up there reading comic books? Is the comic books teaching them something that they can use in the future? No. So why did you think that that was going to work? That's not your audience. That was never going to be your audience. You were never going to get that audience. So trying to hide behind those shallow things about, oh, it's because the character's black, oh, it's because the girl is into STEM. Those are excuses for your failure, your lack of imagination with the character. If you really wanted to do the character, like I said, you would have did a Power Girl solo series, or she could have been integral to Power Girl and Huntress, but you had to make her an interesting character. And you had to build up on that. But when you built up on her and tried to get her to replace Kara Starr, you failed face first. You know? The reason why Wallace West could possibly work is because they finally brought back Wally West, and it relieved a lot of the ugh about Wallace West. And they finally, made him a character without being him a knockoff Wally West. It took some time. It took some years to fix that character. And that's what's going to have to happen with Tanya. You're going to have to fix her in a way where she is respectful to Power Girl, but you have to start laying the groundwork for Karen Starr Power Girl to work first. You have to get her right first before you can get Tanya Spears right first, because that's what you need. You always talking about these legacies or whatever, and you get rid of your legacy characters or your fan favorite characters for diversity legacy crap that nobody asks for. That's so dumb. That's what I'm saying, DC. You gotta calm it down. You gotta stop doing dumb things. But yeah, those are my thoughts about the new Tanya Spears, the new Power Girl, Power Girl 2, and why she didn't really go far at all. Like, we already know why she didn't go far. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.